Corpsepaint Show is live every Sunday night. We want to be your TV series of choice. We're here every Sunday live. Who else is doing live right now? Every week we're live. Excuse me. Do you ever have one of those shitty days and then all of a sudden something good happens? That's what it's like when you discover Texas Theater in Dallas, Texas. There's still a lot of people, Barak, who have not been there.
How do we get them there?
Yeah, all these people that live up north, I think, or something. I don't know. We got to get them there.
That's what this show is going to help.
Yes.
I have made 2 people go there in the last couple of weeks. I've never been there before.
Everybody who's not watching football right now and watching this show.
Right. Yes, needs to understand all about Texas theater, the history of it, where it is, and how to get there, and how much of a charm it is for our city of Dallas. And that is the Texas Theater on Jefferson Boulevard in Oak Cliff. And we've got the operator here, Barak Epstein. Thank you for being here, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Hey, look, you have a lot going on in February.
Yeah.
It's every month you do.
Yeah.
It's very exciting because Black History Month, and then we got Lords of Chaos coming out.
Yes.
And if we go to your website and just look at all these badass things, I'm impressed with the fact that you can see Black Panther for $1.
That's right. It's part of our Black Filmmakers series that we're doing in conjunction with the South Dallas Cultural Center, Office of Cultural Affairs, and it's our second annual one. And what we do is we highlight Black filmmakers, and the program is subsidized by the Office of Cultural Affairs, so we can make it $1. So last night we showed Reginald Hudlin's House Party, a 35mm print, actually a really rare 35mm print, this weekend, we're showing the first African-American filmmaker, Oscar Micheaux, silent film that he did at the African-American Museum at Fair Park. And then next Sunday, we're going to be showing Black Panther. And then Body and Soul is the
Paul
film.
Robeson?
Yeah. And then we've got Barry Jenkins' first film. Actually, a lot of people think Barry Jenkins' first film was Moonlight, but it was actually a film called Medicine for Melancholy, which he did in 2007, a very DIY indie film that played the circuit back around 2007. It actually connects more closely to If Beale Street Could Talk.
Beale Street,
Moonlight. So if anybody's out there seeing Beale Street now, this is really the prequel, I think, to that film versus Moonlight. Moonlight's it's a great film, but it's a whole different kind of thing. And then we're ending the series with Cheryl Dunn's The Watermelon Woman, which is another DIY indie film from like the late 90s, lesbian themed. And it's going to be part of our Cinewild series, which is our monthly LGBT repertory program.
Nice.
So this is an exciting one. This is a new restoration and hasn't really been shown since it just got restored. So yeah, again, this is only $1 as well.
Can I give a shout out to the one thing that endeared us so much to your theater?
What's that?
And this is years and years we've been doing this, is Tuesday Night Trash. And I remember when it used to be weekly.
Yeah. In the very beginning, we did it weekly, but then we figured our curator, Travis Box, he was literally going insane by trying to come up with a movie and a program every week. So we switched it around. And now we have 2 programmers. We still have Travis Box, and we have Ben Jasson, also known as Dollar Ben. And it's a monthly program and it's really exciting. And we're getting lots of people out for it. This week actually is a big one. We're doing a 35mm double feature. Both films are from the SMU archive. One of them is Fred Olin Ray's Cyclone, which is like never, hardly ever been shown, and it should be fun. We're doing a big lounge lobby VHS trade earlier, so people come out. Usually we have a couple guys doing shirts and tapes, but we're packing the lobby out this Tuesday. It's going to be huge. It's going to be like 10, 12 tables.
So that Fast Custom Shirts, is that where they make them right there? Or he prints them?
He's got a shop in Garland,
Okay.
and then he just comes out and he makes shirts, and he usually has them he knows what's playing, and then he makes some shirts and brings them. See, a Brief Critter shirt, that's where
Critters.
That's where it came from.
Yeah, you're wearing Decline of Western Civilization.
I have a funny story about this, because I don't know if you want to ask me about the film festival, because you said you were.
I definitely want to talk about Sundance.
Well, you asked me about the shirt though, but real quick. So this shirt, we had Penelope Spheris at the Oak Cliff Film Festival last year, and she'd come to the theater before, so she'd remembered me, and then she had this shirt in her closet. She didn't know what to do with it, so she was like, "I think Barak could wear this shirt. I think it's the right size for him." So it's from Penelope Spheris' closet.
Penelope. Oh, so cool.
So
cool.
Yeah.
Look. We got to talk about Sundance. We got to talk about Oak Cliff Film Fest. But 2 years ago, Oak Cliff Film Festival. Were one of the movies shown on the Omni Hotel?
No, that was that's Dallas Video Fest. They do that.
My fault.
That's not us.
I apologize.
It's all good though. I'm a fan of their
all right,
programming.
All right. All right. So Oak Cliff, tell me what is it? What is it? Is it just Is it just Texas independent?
It's not just Texas independent films. We've been doing it since 2012 at the Texas Theater, and it takes place at a lot of other venues in Oak Cliff. So we strive to utilize as many places in Oak Cliff as we can. We use the Kessler Theater. We use the Bishop Art Theater Center. We use the Wild Detectives. We use the Dallas Zoo sometimes. We have
for screenings.
Dallas Zoo. I want to go to the Dallas Zoo.
We've shown movies at the Zoo. We show movies at Wild Detectives. We've shown movies outside at the Belmont before. So it's as many places in the neighborhood we can do. We sometimes do outdoor screenings, rooftop screenings. We did screenings at Better Block, out on the street right there on Bishop. And the concept was that we would be curating lots of independent films that go through the sort of festival circuit like Sundance, South by Southwest, that sort of thing, as well as do selected repertory screenings and try to bring in filmmakers and make it like a hyper-local targeted weekend of lots of stuff. We quickly realized early on in running the Texas Theater that a lot of these very small independent films that we wanted to highlight were difficult to just show on a random weekday or a weekend even. So we figured that it made more sense to highlight those in a film festival atmosphere once a year, and then still do different kinds of stuff during the year for the Texas Theater.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Rather than showing it on a Wednesday night without any. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
Gotcha.
some very it's easier to show documentaries and repertory and classics and events and things like that. But if it's just like a really small independent film that it's a narrative or it's a horror movie, sometimes it's kind of hard to break through the crowd of the bigger films to get people to come out.
Shorts and full length and
full length
documentaries.
So we curate stuff.
June 6th through 9, right?
And submissions are open right now, actually. So if you're a filmmaker out there, we do take submissions via Film Freeway. You can get there from our website, filmoakcliff.com.
Download it right there.
Download it right there. Yeah. If you're a student films have a free entry fee. So we have a big right there.
There we go. Look at that.
Look at that. Shorts, features. We also have an experimental category.
That's all it costs.
Yeah, it's cheap.
Look at that.
It's cheap. Look at that.
Student shorts free.
Student
full
shorts
length,
free.
$25 early bird deadline.
Yeah. So our submissions are open through April 15th.
Let's point out it expires tomorrow for the that low price. On the full length.
Right. People listening right now, get your submissions in.
Do it tonight. Do it tonight.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Neat. You mentioned documentaries. You just came back from Sundance.
Yes.
Did you see any good documentaries?
Well, one that maybe makes the most sense to your audience is Penny Lane's Hail Satan.
Penny Lane.
Penny Lane, who did the R. Nixon and Nuts. That came out a few years ago. The guys who was selling stuff that came from bull's nuts, and he made it into a serum. It's a great documentary. We played it at the film festival a couple years ago. Anyway, her new film, it's called Hail Satan. It's Hail Satan with a question mark.
Right.
I got to see it. It was a packed screening. It was really good, actually. I was really impressed with it. I feel like it got into a certain area of the topic of Satanism that I did not know about, and I think a lot of people don't know how it works and what it means and things like that.
So it kind of answers some of your questions.
It answers a lot of questions, and I think part of the point of the film is, it's saying that, this new, what do they call it? The new school Satanism, but that's not what they call it. What
Satanic
is it?
Temple?
The Satanic Temple, but there's like the modern, I think they keep using the
Neo-Satanism.
yeah, whatever it is, yeah. But and they're less interested in
publicity or
that, but they're also less interested in deities they talk about, right, in the film, and they're more interested in just showing an alternative, which I thought was interesting. There's guys in the film who, anytime that there's a government situation that shows a particular religion, they feel like they should be able to show a counter to that.
You bet.
And
we are a nation of pluralism.
Right. Maybe the thesis of the film, it has the question mark because it wants you to think like, well, if you are not interested in the establishment of these sort of things, are you a Satanist also? And these are the kinds of questions it wants you to think about.
So it's a thinking film. It doesn't answer every single thing, but it causes you to pause.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that's interesting about it is a lot of the new films or new kind of pop culture references to Satanism are done ironically, some like I'll just as an example, we also have big fans of Everything Is Terrible at the Texas Theater. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they're like a performance art kind of troupe that comes down and shows weird videos and
they did the Satan thing.
They did the Satan thing
a couple of months back. Yes.
Yeah, it was like 400 people with big pack house at the Texas Theater.
Yes.
But they do it with a certain amount of irony,
humor, and dark humor. Sure.
Yeah, and is it making fun of Satanism? Probably yes. But they invited people, the Satanist groups, to set up stuff in the lobby and let them do their thing.
Yeah, our friends set up.
Yeah. But the Penny Lane film it touches on that, and it touches on who was the guy who hooked up
Lucian?
with the guy way back in the 60s who hung out with Jane Mansfield.
Anton
LaVey. So it talks about Anton LaVey and this sort of pop culture Satanism that started all the way back from him and led through the 80s and like the witch hunt style Satanism.
Yes.
And the guys in the film who were the modern guys were like, well, that wasn't our game. We were sitting at home playing D&D, and now we're just talking about alternative religion almost. So it's really a different thing than what's been discussed before.
So in other words, hopefully Texas Theater will show it. And let me ask you, all right, so when you go to Sundance, I imagine Amazon is there. They're like writing checks to everybody.
Sure.
We want these movies, and maybe Netflix or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you also get a chance to then, say, I want this at my theater and talk to the distributors?
So yeah, it's a very good question, actually. Why? What is the purpose of me there watching movies? And it's a couple things. So yeah, we're not there are distributors there watching movies for the purpose of acquiring them, and then there's a lot of people like us who are film festivals or movie theater exhibitors or programmers that are there looking for content either before or after it's distributed. So there could be a film real early in its cycle that maybe just premiered, and it doesn't have a distributor or it's still working through sales agents. Often those are the films that we'll approach to try to play in our film festival, because the film festival is stuff that's real early in the cycle, hasn't gone through a theatrical route yet or figured out its home video release or VOD or anything like that. And then there's also films that have maybe been around the circuit a little longer and they're already almost about to come out, sometimes already coming out in the case of Netflix or Amazon. So the scenario of Hail Satan is it actually already had a distributor going into the festival. It's Magnolia. So Magnolia's already dated the film. I'm not sure if they posted it online, so maybe I shouldn't say, but it's dated for this spring.
I think it's out there that April.
So maybe good. So it's posted. I don't know if we'll get to play it because it's actually a little bit bigger of a film. Yeah. So we're going to try to play it. We want to play it, and I think we have the right audience who will want to come see it.
Agreed.
But even if we don't, for whatever reason, it will play in Dallas. Angelica will play it. or somebody will play it. So I think it's a good. It's definitely her highest profile film to date, I think.
Let's work together on anything dark or satanic. We'll try and help you get the audience there.
Yes.
All right, look. So at the Texas Theater, and I want to show about 3 minutes of that Criterion.
Oh, great.
That Criterion video, maybe
Yeah.
the first 3 minutes of it. But please understand, this is not just a theater. This is a bar.
Yep.
This is a community center. This is an event center.
Yeah.
And this is a stage where you have had concerts because the screen moves back and you have this huge stage. We also saw Adon Jodorowsky backstage when
Right.
he did that solo concert, which was so fantastic.
He was.
And so it's a concert venue as well. And, you know, it has the word theater in your name, but it should be the Texas Theater and Event Center.
It's in everything. Yeah, we
It
do all
is.
of it. Yeah.
It is.
Were you guys there for Goblin when we had Goblin
Yes.
play? And,
Yeah, we were.
Awesome. Yeah. And then we had the other guy. I just blanked.
Adon?
No,
Adon?
yeah,
From-
but from Zombie, Fulci.
Oh,
Fabio Frizzi.
Fabio.
We had Fabio, and we're trying to get Fabio Frizzi back, by the way.
Great.
So cross your fingers for Fabio Frizzi next year.
Okay. And so, look, we have viewers I know that are not from Texas, and some of them not in America, and maybe they just need a little refresher on the history of the theater you operate, Barak. So if Ziggy doesn't mind, we're going to just show the first 3 minutes of that cool Criterion segment on
show
your art center.
Thank you very much for coming out to the Oscar watching party, and thank you and welcome to the historic Texas Theater. Can I get a massive round of applause for this gorgeous, gorgeous theater? It's really one of the few places I come to when I know that if I walk in at any point in the week, in the month, whatever, I can see something that is crowd-pleasing. I can see something that's challenging. I can see locally produced films. It's a phenomenal theater, and thank you very much for supporting it.
Texas Theater is one screen theater that was opened in Dallas in 1931. It's actually financed by Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes bought a whole chain of movie theaters called the Robin Rowley Theaters in 1930, which eventually became Rowley and United, which eventually became United Artists. So United Artists was running it in 11/22/1963 when Lee Harvey Oswald came in here and watched a movie called War is Hell before being apprehended by the Dallas police. So that incident made the Texas Theater famous or infamous, depending on how you want to look at it.
But that part of our history is, you know, what we'll forever be associated with, and also in some ways what we owe the theater's continued existence to is people's interest in that particular part of its story.
It's linked to the JFK assassination, really hurt the business for lots of reasons that people would expect, but it never really bounced back from that. So it became a B movie theater, you know, very cheap, you know, B, C, D movie theater.
In the 90s, it opened and closed a few times. There was a big fire here in 94, and 99, 2000, it was in massive disrepair.
And then the vultures started circling. There were rumors that it was going to be gutted and turned into a furniture store. No, they were going to level it and some of the surrounding buildings and put in a giant mercado. So a bunch of neighbors got the Oak Cliff Foundation together and bought the building and renovated it from 2002 to 2005. For a little while, thinking they were going to do touring.
Right. All right, that's just a little segment of a 9-minute clip that's you can find on YouTube. It is Criterion
So one
production.
thing about that is that was made for Filmstruck. Filmstruck went away, and Filmstruck is coming back in the form of simply the Criterion channel, which will be up in early April. And that video will be back online. And we have some other content we're working on specifically for Criterion Collection that'll be online.
Quick question: Can you get in the balcony to watch film?
No, you can't. It's the short answer.
Okay.
But we are working on something where you will hopefully be able to in the future.
This is a funny story, but I remember going there. This must have been late 80s, early 90s, and seeing those B movies.
Yeah.
A couple of times, and I remember being in there and the crowd being loud and boisterous, and yelling at the screen, and it was a wild. That was before you took it over, of course.
Way back in the day.
Way back. And hey, The other question is on 11/22 every year. I just got to ask you this, Barak.
Yes.
Look. Do you get history buffs? Do you get crazy people? Do you get conspiracy theorists? Who do they want to just come in and talk to you?
Yes, is the short answer. All of the above.
Every year.
Every year, on the 50th anniversary, we have people from all over the globe coming to the theater to see the things. We had news trucks out there at 5 a.m. that day. It was a big deal. It's a big deal every year, but it's a certain deal on bigger anniversaries. But yes, we show the film that was played when he was caught, War is Hell. Every year at 1:45 p.m. For 90 cents, which is how much it cost to get in at the time. We actually do not have the whole film. The film's actually kind of a lost film, so we show a shortened version of it that we've compiled over different publicly available versions and other it's hard to get versions. So we've done our own restoration of the film War is Hell, which you can only see if you come to the Texas Theater once a year on 11/22. But yeah, we get all sorts of crazy people who just want to talk about conspiracy theories and talk about whatever. We have the Warren Report there in case we need quick reference. So we'll point it out. Three people who were at the Texas Theater that day are interviewed in the Warren Report. And one year we actually took their transcripts and did a live play reenactment of them, kind of David Mamet style. And that was a pretty impressive thing we did once. Maybe we'll do it again.
Were the police called on him because he did not have the 90 cents and he just ducked in?
Basically he popped into this shoe store a few doors down and just kind of stood there and looked awkward and then kind of ran out the street. The guy who worked at the shoe store, his name was Johnny Brewer. He saw him, said that guy looks weird, followed him, saw him run into the theater without going to the box office and just duck into the theater, and he was like, that dude looks shady. And he told Julia Postal, who was working at the box office, and they called DPD, and they were all there, within minutes to get him. So that's what happened. Yeah. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff you can read about why they were there so fast. How come there were 30 cops there? There's all sorts of details you can read into it.
Because the death of Tippett had been called in, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And that is the of course, that is the story.
And then someone reports a weird guy, and they're gonna jump on it.
Right. They were looking for the guy who shot Tippett, and also looking for the guy who shot Kennedy.
Was Tippett's death? Is it like 2 blocks from you?
It was at 10th and Patton. So after he left downtown, he went to his house, which is right next to Spiral Diner, if you know where that is in Oak Cliff right now. So there's even a sign out there. Like there's that lady who owns the house is just like showing it to people for $10.
She has a sign out front.
There's a sign out front. Yeah. So she's made money off that. And so, anyways, he walked from that house to 10th and Patton. And where Tippett was shot, and then he walked from there to the Texas Theater. Now it's clear that he made a left to get to 10th and Patton, so he wasn't necessarily already going to the Texas Theater. If you walk it, which I've done before, he's deliberately going to 10th and Patton. So he went out of his way to go there. So was he supposed to meet somebody there? Who knows?
Gotcha.
Yeah. And why did he decide to go to the Texas Theater after? Who knows?
Okay, and what I hear also is that he didn't sit in one seat. He moved around a lot.
He moved around a lot. Yeah, he moved around. So people always are like, "Where's the seat? How come it's not marked?" And we don't mark it for a bunch of reasons. But basically, we always say that he was in the 3rd row from the back, and the 5th seat, and then also the 2nd seat. So that's where his most famous 2 spots were. He was in the 5th seat for a second. There's actually a famous Dallas police photo of an officer pointing at that seat. And then he moved to the 2nd seat, where there was another officer named Officer McDonald who got into a fist fight with him. And that's where his gun jammed. So Oswald wasn't able to get a shot off, and then they punched him.
So he should have just acted natural. That's the whole moral of the story. If he had just paid, gone in, sat in one seat.
In theory, if he'd paid the 90 cents... And walked in
and wasn't running from the shoe store to the theater, maybe.
And or if that wasn't his rendezvous, who knows?
You are the de facto historian on this. I mean, you've become
I mean, I had a couple years ago this Dallas police officer who was there that day. He's in his 80s now, and he was like, well, I came into the back, and I was like, how'd you come into the back? And he was like, I don't know. They told me to come into the back. Like, there's all sorts of weird stuff.
Is there a back way he could have got in, or
there's a back door?
Okay.
I don't know. I wasn't there that day, but people are still alive who were, and I hear stuff about it. People who were not interviewed in the Warren Report. So
there's another reason why Texas Theater is going to be infamous.
What's that?
It's on February 21st of this month.
February 21st.
21st, yes, we're having a mosh party in your lobby. I didn't tell you that yet.
Oh, okay, good.
With all Norwegian black metal.
Yes.
It's that event right there. Now, on the 21st, you're also showing it, I know, on the 15th and 16th.
We're showing a few screenings, yeah.
We encourage you to go to this one because we've got DJ Satan, moi,
Yeah.
in the lobby,
Yeah.
spinning true Norwegian black metal.
What kind of music are you going to play? Which bands are you going to play?
It's mayhem.
Okay.
It's Satyricon.
Okay.
It's Crest of Darkness. It's Dark Throne. It's all Norwegian cult black metal. That's all we're gonna play. Is Norwegian.
That should be good. It's true. It's only true Norwegian stuff.
That's right.
Have you guys seen the film yet?
No.
Okay, but you're gonna watch it that day.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch
okay.
it that day, or
Okay.
maybe we'll come on Friday and
Maybe you come
Saturday.
early, okay.
And also,
And you'll pregame a little bit.
Wait, Friday or Saturday?
Come Saturday, or you know what? We just we haven't even.
Are you guys showing Space Jam on February
Yeah,
16th?
we are showing Space Jam, which is very similar to Lords of.
Okay. No. Here's what she's referring to. We have a burlesque show on the 16th.
I'm really
I apologize.
sad. I'm really sad because I was like, oh, Space Jam. I love Space Jam.
Well, I can't compete with this for Space Jam, but we are going to show another chance.
You could do both.
We're
sure.
showing it on. We just added a show Tuesday, and we're also going to show the documentary "Until the Light Takes Us," which was a film that we almost showed it a few years ago, because it was at the end of distribution when we were first starting. I think it came out around 2009.
So this will be on the 19th.
Yeah, we're going to add a show on the 19th.
All right.
Awesome.
So if people want to come and pregame and watch Until the Night Takes Us, which, if you don't know, is the documentary about what happened.
Euronymous and the murder.
Yeah, and which is I just rewatched it recently, and it's interesting because it also doesn't tell you what to think. It just kind of shows you what happened.
Yeah.
And most interesting to me anyway is the footage and the interviews of Varg. He's that level of insanity is always interesting to me, of any sort of person.
Well, you mentioned Ted Bundy. Let's segue to that. You were just at Sundance.
Yeah.
All right. So what is the scoop with Zac Efron playing Ted Bundy?
Well, that's a film that's also going to be talked about a lot this year.
I'm sorry.
It's called Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile.
I like the
that's
title.
the title?
That is the title of the film.
The Ted Bundy?
And it's a title because it was something that I think the judge actually said about what happened. So the film, goes to a certain length to try to, it's a fictional narrative film, but it tries to cover certain things that actually happened, and in fair detail they cover the trial. And the reason why they can cover it in fair detail is because it was all on camera. It was on television.
Yeah.
It was like the first big murder trial to be covered on as like a
Was it?
media circus.
Yeah, cool.
So they clearly analyzed all the footage. Now there's another film which is on Netflix, which I have not seen, that the same filmmaker did, Joe Berlinger, about, it's a doc, right, about a lot of the stuff. And then so I thought that was interesting that the doc they threw up on Netflix. The film, as far as I'm aware anyway, has not been bought by Netflix. I think it's a separate production.
Oh, look.
Yeah, that's the film. So what's going to be talked about a lot this year is that the film is not violent on purpose. The film is presented from the women's perspective of the people who were obsessed with him. And they were obsessed with him for who knows why, for different reasons. They don't get too deep into it, but the ones that were obsessed and weren't murdered didn't see what happened, right? So
They still like the guy.
they're obsessed with him. Yeah, that's why they have Zac Efron playing this part. It's very calculated. They have him playing his part, and they don't show almost nothing of what he was doing, and they almost make it seem like, from the women's perspective, that he was innocent. And it's hard to, even though he was clearly insane. It has certain similarities to a film that came out a couple years ago called My Friend Dahmer, which also didn't show anything. But it took it back to like a prequel mode of like what happened leading up. And this is like a complete 180 from totally fictional films like The House that Jack Built, Lars von Trier's new film, which is about a fictional serial killer, which is could be called Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile, because it is painfully hard to watch. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
We haven't had
we didn't
chance
show
yet.
it at the theater. It's a tough watch.
Well, wait, is that why you didn't show it?
I didn't think it. I didn't love it. And it wasn't just because it was violent. I wasn't into why it was trying to be violent, and I think it was trying to be violent for the complete opposite reason of the Zac Efron film. It was just trying to push buttons.
Wasn't there only really one screening of it?
So
It was the one that wasn't supposed to be screened.
it was a marketing campaign, but yes,
Yeah,
they
I
did
figured
it.
as
They
much,
did a
but
good
still.
job of saying, oh, it's an unrated version. We're going to show that one night, and then we're going to show a rated, edited version later. I think some of the Alamos in town played it, the one night version. I only saw the cut of the unrated version.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even for horror fans, I would imagine it's going to be a difficult watch. But you know, if you're a fan, if really it's for Lars von Trier fans,
Yeah.
and if you know who you are, when I say that, then it's for you. If you don't, then maybe not so much. Yeah.
Right. Right. Yes.
But anyway, I think the Joe Berlinger film probably will be a topic of conversation when it comes out this year because of the way it presents certain things, and people are saying, well, how come it didn't get into the depths of maybe showing some of the violence or kind of getting into why people were obsessed with him. And in a similar way to the other films we've just talked about, you know, it doesn't want to spell it out for you. So yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Hey, the other things you have this month. Now, we mentioned the 19th, you got the double feature. Then on the 21st, Lords of Chaos.
Lords of Chaos.
The 16th of Space Jam.
Space Jam.
Space Jam.
On the 22nd, you got Lloyd effing Kaufman,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah, of course.
Coming in person.
In person. Yeah.
And I'm jealous that you got to hang with Adon.
Yes.
You know,
He's
I mean,
cool
what
guy.
a cool dude.
Yes.
You know, he played in a punk band. Didn't he play with Joe Strummer or something? And
Supposedly,
hang around.
supposedly,
with
yeah, supposedly.
he's done everything.
He's really cool.
Supposedly the Beatles taught him how to play guitar, and yeah, he hung out with Jodorowsky. I mean, his dad was Jodorowsky, you know,
Yeah.
so he was around then, you know. But so the trauma thing is
So Return to Nukem High 2.
So yeah, this is maybe it's confusing, maybe it's not. So what we're doing is we're showing two features that night.
Oh, okay.
We are showing Return of Nukem High Volume 2.
Okay.
Which is a silly title on purpose, but basically it's the part 2 of the Volume 1, which is the reboot of Class of Nukem High. And we showed that a few years ago as well. And Lloyd came down from New York
remember.
to show it. You were there that night?
Unfortunately, we could not make it, but I remember him being there and me regretting missing it.
Was there a Space Jam screening somewhere else that
Yes.
night?
At our house.
Or else some sort of satanic movie.
Just kidding.
But anyway, so yeah, I like to show the Troma movies and get Lloyd there. He's a great guy for a Q&A.
You call up Lloyd, he'd come, wouldn't
Well, it's actually not as easy as you would think because yes, I said that, and he was like, great, but nowhere else in Texas will show my movies. So I helped put together the little tour. So we're actually going to do screenings in Houston, an Alamo Drafthouse in Houston, if anybody's listening, on the 19th. On the 20th, we're doing a screening at the North Door in Austin. It's like a punk rock club.
Nice.
And on the 21st, he's doing a lecture at University of North Texas. It's actually free admission. And then on the 22nd, he'll be coming to the Texas Theater for Return to Class of Nukem High Part 2. Plus, we're going to take a little intermission. He'll do a Q&A, and then we're going to show the original 1986 Class of Nukem High, which has been recently restored by the good folks at Troma.
So cool. So
Yeah.
horror fans and comedy horror fans, look at the website for The Texas Theater. It is thetexastheater.com, right?
Yeah,
Do
you
I
can
have
get
that
there
right?
from just Texas Theater as well.
Okay. And check out all these things. And then the following day,
Yes.
even better, Fred Armisen.
Oh, Fred Armisen.
Isn't playing a concert.
Well, I don't want to plug it too much because it sold out in like 30 minutes.
It's
but
already sold out.
It's super
Yeah, I
sold
know.
out.
I tried. I was like, oh, Fred Armisen.
Yeah, but we're excited for Fred Armisen.
Yeah.
He's basically going to drum and tell jokes. It'll be a lot of fun.
So it's like punk rock humor.
I
Yeah.
got to
all of it.
see him at Fun
Oh, yeah?
Fest
Oh,
like
yeah?
a few years ago, and he had his whole band. I think a whole band that was playing just like punk rock covers
Nice.
and some original songs too. It's
Yeah.
pretty exciting.
We were pleased to see that he loves The Damned.
Yeah, he played a damn.
Loves The
cover.
Damned, and he's in that Damned documentary,
That's right.
which I think you showed.
We did show it.
Yeah, when it came out.
Yeah.
Don't you wish we were dead?
Don't you wish we were dead? We show you most. We try to show most of the rock and roll docs.
Yeah.
Is that the
cool.
one with our friend Jacob? Who pretended to be Dave Vanian.
Yeah, we had a
Fun,
friend-
fun,
I
fun.
have one other one we haven't posted
Please
yet.
tell us. Please tell us.
We are showing the new Stiv Bader's doc.
What? Dead Boys?
Yeah, the Dead Boys doc. It's a one-night only screening, end of March 24th. We haven't posted it yet.
Can I do something with you for that?
Yeah,
'Cause here's what we do. We punk rock the lobby out.
Okay.
And I'll DJ and just play that old school New York punk.
Man, I'm into
Well,
it.
he's from Cincinnati.
It's going to be a Sunday evening screening, so I'm down if you're good. I know
Yes.
you got this show. Maybe after the show.
Right after show.
Yeah.
Right after show.
Yeah.
But Dead Boys is right up my alley, man.
Cool.
Just freaking love it. We're in fact going to punk rock bowling in May.
Okay.
And Dead Boys with Cheetah Chrome, have reformed.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know.
I won't be here that weekend, so you can totally go party and stay.
So wait,
up
who's
late.
singing for Dead Boys now?
March 24th.
It's a young new singer.
Okay.
And Cheetah sings on some of the songs too. He was one of the originals.
Okay.
But Dead Boys did their 40th anniversary of Young, Loud, and Snotty.
Gotcha.
And they're still doing
Yeah,
that. So
we'll be
they'll
at
be at
Punk
Punk
Rock
Rock Bowling along with the Damned and the Specials and so many
I did hear about this. Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be awesome.
so many others. And maybe we'll meet Penelope Spheris.
Is she going to be there?
I don't know. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Hey, Penelope.
Yeah.
All right. So one more time, I just want to plug the February 21st Lords of Chaos screening because we will have the authentic music in the lobby of the Texas Theater, and we're co-hosting that. So thank you very much, Barak, for doing that with us. And
I'm excited to see it. I just like the whole backstory.
There's going to be face painting in the lobby also.
who's doing that?
I forget who organized it. Wally set it up.
Corpsepaint?
Yeah, he's doing, but he has somebody who's doing the paint. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because mine is just a very, very.
I'm gonna do his corpse paint for
Yeah,
that night.
I need a professional.
I don't do his corpse paint for this show. He
Oh,
does his own.
okay. You need like a makeup person just here. Yeah. First step, get the lower third. Second step, makeup person.
No, we have lower thirds. It's just this one time that Barak Epstein comes in our studio, we have this little
It's a
software.
character generator. Can you get it to wipe in? Can we do a wipe? Can we do the scissor cut out? Okay.
Here's what I'd like to do. I'm going to send you. I would like to send you a commercial for the Corpsepaint show that
Yeah.
we show on the big screen. So maybe we can talk money on that later.
Okay.
Because whatever it is, I'll try and work it out. After we ask for a bunch of donations. Thank you very much for being here, Barak, man.
thanks for having me.
What else
Thank
is
you
on your
for
mind
having
that we haven't covered that we should mention for March or February or Oak Cliff Film Fest or?
Well, just some other upcoming films we're excited about. Texas Theater. We are showing on March 2nd. We're doing a screening of the final cut of Blade Runner, and we've got a huge after show that night with the metal band Mountain of Smoke. I don't know if you guys have heard them, but they're going to be playing, and they have a new lineup, and they've added a whole bunch of cool synth stuff, and it's basically like a heavy metal version of Vangelis. So I heavily recommend being out there for that screening. True Widow's playing. They're also a great rock and roll band that'll be there that night. So come out to that screening. And then the week after, we're going to post it this week, but we've got Gaspar Noé's new film called Climax.
Right. It's a dance film.
Yeah, it's
Right.
a dance film, sort of.
Have you
How
seen
do you
it?
pronounce his last name?
Noé?
Noé.
That's what I say. Gaspar Noé, or Gaspar.
Gaspar
We showed his last film. We showed a few of his films. So Enter the Void was kind of a big one for the Texas Theater. It was kind of when we first started the theater. It was the first film the distributor would let us show. So they're like, "What are you guys doing? You guys can't show movies. You gotta, you know." So there's kind of like when you first start a theater, you have to like tell the movie studios that you're a real theater. And we sort of did it. One of the first calls I had, I think I called Fox, and Fox was like, "Well, you guys know it's $9 from 1989." From like a movie poster that the United Artists had sent the Texas Theater in 1989, and so I paid the $9, and they let us pick movies. But but Enter the Void was a big one. It was IFC. It was a small in the grand scheme of things, but it was a big film for us, and we kept playing it because people, and somebody was coming, and we were excited that people were coming out. So I'm excited about his new film.
Yeah. Climax.
Yeah.
And look, can I just point out too? We mentioned Lords of Chaos again.
Yeah.
My research shows that you're the only theater showing this in North Texas.
Didn't that get an Austin venue?
Maybe in Austin.
I don't know if it did or not.
And Houston.
Okay, good.
And West Texas.
But not in DFW.
Not in DFW.
not
yeah.
DFW or general North Texas area.
Right.
So good job on that. And
Yeah.
and so if you
You
want
wanna
to see
see it.
this movie, you've got to come to the Texas Theater, Jefferson Avenue, Oak Cliff, Dallas, Texas. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Being
Thanks
here.
for having me. Of course.
You're very, very welcome. We're-
Remember, tomorrow night they're doing the very special double feature of Tuesday Night Trash.
Yes.
Wait, Tuesday night?
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night.
Sorry.
Oh,
Two
right,
nights.
right. The two.
I think it's Monday. Tuesday. Sorry. Look at me. dressing
We
things up.
love Tuesday night
95
trashy
things.
films.
You guys got to be there.
After bingo.
After bingo. Well, there's two
Okay.
films, so it's 7:30, and the second one will start about 9 something.
Okay, we'll be there after bingo.
So come to the second film. They're both free.
Well, let's say that again.
Yeah.
Tuesday night trash is free.
It's free.
It's free.
And
They have a
this-
great bar.
Right.
And look, if you haven't seen a Black Panther yet, it's showing for $1. Go to the website and find out what date that is. It's coming up the next week. Fantastic. We're actually going to segue with a trailer for a movie you screened on Monday called Silhouette.
Okay.
And we're bringing on Mitch McLeod, who's the director of that. And you might have been at Sundance.
I was at Sundance.
But we were there and saw it. Great film. He had a nearly packed house.
Nice.
There was a lot of people there.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
I know they were all drinking too, so we support your bar.
Great. Good to hear it.
Always.
And also the popcorn and the candy and all that stuff up front.
Yes, we have lots of Sour Patch Kids.
And so this is a trailer for Silhouette. We're going to bring in Mitch McLeod. We're going to say adios to Barak. Man, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You know, I can't wait for you to finally see it. I really think this is going to be the change I've been needing. Amanda.
Yeah.
This all belonged to someone else. None of this is ours.
Sweetie, this is what I was talking about. A fresh start. A new life. I mean, a second chance. This is it. It's all right here, right in front of us. I'm gonna be happy here, okay? I promise.
I believe you.
You saw who?
I saw Sarah.
Sarah? Is dead.
You don't think I knew that?
So Mitch McLeod had a great private screening on Monday of Silhouette at the Texas Theater. And you came up in front of everybody and you said, this movie is, I think the word you used was
unpleasant.
Unpleasant. Yeah. You said, this is not a fun film. This is unpleasant film. This is for horror people who like a dark film. And it's called Silhouette. We got the director right here to my right, and that's Mitch McLeod. Thank you for being here, man.
Hey, thanks for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
That was a fun screening with a lot of people there.
Yeah, I was really amazed by the turnout, actually. That was really awesome. So, hey, everyone who came out, thank you so much for being there to show support. That was awesome of you.
What is the next step for the film? And also tell us as much as you want about what it's about.
Okay, well, before I go on to the next step, you've seen the trailer now, so there's that. The basic synopsis, the breakdown of the film is that it's Silhouette's a story about Jack and Amanda Harms, and upon the death of their young daughter, their child, they move out into this secluded area in order to kind of try to begin their lives anew, put the pieces back together, see if there's any fixing what's been broken. Because I mean, you know, if you've lost a child, I think that's probably the most traumatic, horrible thing that can ever happen to you. So how do you really go about fixing that? And so that's kind of where we start off, is these people trying to do this, trying to, again, piece themselves back together, try to go about living a normal life, or as normal a life as can be lived in that situation. But upon their arrival, yeah, things go awry, they go wrong. We start to see some hauntings, if you will. Things just go awry very quickly, and I think the way I describe it is the sins of their past come back to haunt them. Literally and figuratively, because, you know, these characters, both of them, neither one are perfect by any means.
None of us are, right?
Yeah.
And so that's a filmmaker's job, is maybe to point out the full range of what someone is in terms of being a human being.
Well, I'm fascinated by broken people, you know. I'm really interested in these kinds of people, in these kinds of characters. My favorite kinds to represent are, I don't know, like, you know, I think it's too easy sometimes to make a character and just make them blatantly likable. I like to take characters who really are kind of technically unlikable people and kind of force audience members to identify with those people, because that's a scary thing. That's scarier than any of the horror in the film is like being forced to identify with somebody who is so broken and tormented and damaged. So yeah, it's fun.
you force us, right, Jenny Slash? I mean, this is kind of what we were going through, the emotions of that film. You're forcing us to like them, and then the pieces start falling apart.
Right.
And a few other characters emerge, and we see weaknesses, and yeah, it's quite a story.
Thank you very much.
So I guess what I meant was, will it be available to others to on VOD or maybe you're working that out? Or?
Yeah. I don't want to go too much into it, because I'm kind of in a situation right now where my hands are slightly tied, and I'm really working hard to loosen that grip and expand out there. One way or another, it's going to be released and made available to the public. The question is right now, to what capacity? Will we simply be on, kind of like, I don't want to say basic, but, platforms that, pretty much anybody can, put their film on? Will we be on those platforms like Amazon and iTunes and Vudu, things like that? Or will we eventually have a DVD release, potentially stores, Redbox, going all the way to Netflix and Hulu? I'm working on, many things right now, and trying to ensure that this release gets out there, because
You'll make the best choice.
Is it gonna play the festival circuit? Are you submitting to any festivals?
That's another one I'm working on right now as well. I am in the midst of some festival submissions right now. I've been talking to a couple of them, actually, myself, and also just people that I know who have become fans of the film. They've seen the film, and they really enjoyed it. And so, I have these people that, work closely within these festivals, and they're talking to their programmers about, possibly bringing this out. So yeah, hopefully we're going to have, some kind of small festival run, something decent. I'm really hoping that we get the opportunity to showcase it here. So like the festivals that I really have on my mind are, Dallas International Film Festival or the Fort Worth Indie Film Showcase, because, this is a Dallas-made film, this is a Texas-made film, so I want to give every opportunity for the people of Dallas to come out and be able to experience it in a theater, not just, on their TV screens, because obviously the best way to experience a film is on the biggest screen possible.
With a shiner in your hand, like at Texas Theater.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
Please drink and watch this film.
Yes.
I had a Topo Chico.
Hey, well,
I had to work in the morning.
It's a good film at the Texas Theater when you hear, like halfway through the film, you hear a couple of shiners get knocked over and they're rolling down, like clank, clank, clank.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Texas Theater is very unforgiving in the mistakes that you can make there. If you knock over a glass or anything like that happens, everyone's going to hear it.
No, it's no big deal. I'm glad they have a bar.
Yeah.
I think most people
It's way better than the days you had to smuggle it in your purse.
Mm-hmm. But either way, I mean, same effect. You're gonna be doing it one way or another.
Oh yeah.
Now we just do it legally.
Yeah. No, I'll never forget. I did that one time, and I'd like hide them underneath the seats, and then when I stood up, and they the seat knocked them all down. I was like, shit, and you're clang, clang, clang. I wasn't drinking that much.
Wasn't me. It wasn't you.
It's like, shit, I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
So the film is Silhouette, and look, making a film is the hardest thing in the world.
It's tough.
Is that true or false? Is that true or
Oh
false?
God, I don't know. That sounds really self-aggrandizing to say that it's the
How long
hardest
did
thing
it?
in the world.
How long did it take you to complete the film from start to finish?
From start to finish, well, so I guess I would have started writing it about 3.5 years ago, actually. Yeah, over the summer, and I'd been conceptualizing it for a while, and you know, I don't want to give anything away, but I'll just do this, and all the people who have seen the film will know what that means. But that's actually the first, just this image popped into my head, and that's kind of how I work when I get excited about a film. An image pops into my head that I think is really fascinating, and then if I find myself being able to put a story to it, then hey, here we go.
All about
you know, because I get a lot of images in my head. Sometimes they just are standalone, and I can't find anything cool to do with them, so they kind of go to the wayside. This one wasn't the case, so I started conceptualizing it more like 4 years ago and talking to people about it and saying, hey, I kind of want to do this thing. I'm not really sure how to go about it yet, because this is going to be some more effects heavy stuff, because I've never really done too many effects in the films that I've done before. And yeah, so I guess I started writing it about 3.5 years ago, and then that was a crazy process because, you know, when you write a script, I guess a lot of people who aren't part of the business, they think, hey, yeah, you sit down, you write the script, let's go and do this. But that is not the case.
No.
You write the script, and the first draft is usually 9 times out of 10, it's terrible. And yeah, there were a lot of things I liked about that original draft, but it needed to change. And what I originally did, I wanted to, because I'm sure we'll talk more about that later, but that's been a big question that's been asked me is, did you mean to leave this so open for interpretation? And the answer is yes. In the original script, we didn't see a ghost. We didn't see the woman. Kim Foster in the film plays a character that we only call the woman. And
Is that the one with almost corpse paint makeup?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Was that inspired by corpse paint? It looks very corpse painty. I like it.
There was inspired by several things. I had a concept artist come in, and I told him what I wanted, and I showed him some images, showed him lots of things, described lots of things to him. And based on those, he kind of sat down and drew out a few options. But yeah, I would say that the corpse paint definitely had a little bit to do with it. I was very much into that scene in my youth, my younger years. The corpse paint guys on stage rocking out looking like this. Yeah, praise. Absolutely.
Quick point here. You can enter your film in the Oak Cliff Film Festival. Now, we were just talking to Barak about that. But go to the Oak Cliff Film Festival, and you can download it right there. And it's a very low admission price.
$25.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
But it goes
But you
up
have to
like
do it
tomorrow
or
or it goes
tonight,
up Tuesday or something.
It goes up.
Oh, okay. So that's why it's the early
It
bird.
plays
Yeah,
all
yeah.
throughout
Early
the
bird.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
that'd be
anyway,
awesome.
keep that in mind. Now that's his thing, and Texas Theater loves the film. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, did Texas Theater? So Texas Theater saw the film. That's awesome.
Look, you had a great night on Monday. It was a private screening. I looked around the audience, and it was a huge audience, and they all were into it. I could tell.
Well, not everyone.
Oh, the one asshole made a lot of noise. Okay, and
I didn't hear them.
Okay.
Yeah,
we got him.
We were on the side of the theater.
Yeah.
So
Look,
we didn't hear
we
anything.
did not hear that annoying person. On our side, it was flawless.
Good.
There was no annoying
No.
distraction.
Good.
No.
Good. I'm glad
but,
to hear it.
But I think the girl was. There was one girl. There was I think a ghost sitting in front of me. I was like, but they're up there and they're there. So yeah.
Oh, ghost.
Yeah.
Well, see, we meant to ask Barak if Texas Theater's
Oh
haunted.
no, I meant the ghost from the movie was sitting in front of me.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh. Awesome. Yeah,
like
yeah.
the little kid. The little kid is like 2 rows in front of us. And you said, hey, everyone who's on the crew or cast, stand up. And she stood up. And we're like, oh, cool, yeah.
Yeah. Isn't she magnificent? You know, 10 years old, 11 years old, maybe. I want to say 11, but yeah, just this very young child, and she just has this force about her. She just comes out and she does these amazing things. Like she's got a future. She's gonna be good.
All right, so it was filmed right here?
Oh yeah, mostly here in Dallas. There were some scenes. The main house, you know, you're not gonna find anything like that here in the city.
That
you
house
know,
was so creepy.
We wanted a country style setting. You know, when these people set out to seclusion, they set out in seclusion. So I had a friend of mine whose aunt and uncle live out in Box Springs, which is not too far out from here. It's actually crazy how close it is, because you go from Dallas and you're still just ensnared by all this city life, and then boom, right when you exit and you get into Box Springs, it's country. But we filmed a lot of it out there for the house, but outside of that, yeah, everything was pretty much shot here. I think we shot the bar scene was out in my hometown, which is another small country area called Nevada, Texas. But yeah, everything else, therapist scene, everything else was shot in Dallas.
So the story is they lose their child, and so the father moves the whole family to this new home, thinking that this will solve everything. It's our basic male simplistic thinking, and no, it doesn't. And in fact, the mother, it goes even more crazy, it seems.
Something like that, yeah. We, because the idea of starting a horror film with the family relocating and going to a new home, that's not unheard of. In fact, it's pretty common. And that's kind of what I wanted to do, was I wanted to take something that's very familiar, that people have seen 1,000 times, if not more, and I just kind of wanted to give it our own spin.
Yeah.
Because I love those movies, but no one needs another movie like that that's just straightforward in that manner. So, how can you take something that's a little bit cliched, a little bit familiar, and make it your own thing?
Well, you call it spin, I call it jabbing me in the stomach.
Well, good. I mean, I tell people that the way I want them to feel when they're walking away from this film is the same way they felt the first time they watched something like Requiem for a Dream or whatever, where it just takes you, grabs you by the ears, and punches you in the gut.
Requiem for a Dream's pretty scarring.
I know.
See?
Yeah.
I will
That's
never
what Mitch
do
is
drugs.
making.
Good.
Never. They should show that in schools. It scared the shit out of me. I'm like, no, I don't want your drugs.
Exactly.
It did. She talks about it often, how it scarred her.
It's one of those films.
I still watch it.
Whether you love it or you hate it, it
love
definitely had an
but
impact on you.
It
So
impacted me.
yeah, absolutely.
Hey, look, Absentia, we
That
got your
final
logo.
scene.
We got your logo up, man.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's you in the middle.
Double-sided. Oh, I'm
Hey.
going the wrong way. I'm looking at myself on the TV, and that's very, very strange.
So Absentia is the production company.
Absentia Pictures.
That's you. That's
How'd you come up with the name?
Absentia, in Absentia is hey.
Now that's
there we
a
go.
scene from the film.
Oh my God, that's
Right?
a plug. That's the plug of all plugs. Everyone, go and click that nice
Click
shiny
that.
like button.
Look at that great image right there, and click the like button. Absentia Pictures on Facebook.
Anyway, yeah. So Absentia, it's in Absentia is the absence of truth, and I think that's kind of what we do in film. We exist in the absence of truth, and we kind of make our own realities. We kind of make our own truths. Nothing that we see, nothing that we do on these things is real. None of it's happening, and I think that's the beauty of film, the magic of film. Like something like Requiem for a Dream, scarring you, or something like any horror film. Let's say The Exorcist. I think that's across the board the one that everyone can say is just terrifying. But why? Why is an image so terrifying? So you're watching it and there's no threat, and nothing's going to happen to you from watching this movie. You're just finding yourself in an empathetic situation with characters. So I kind of like to play on the words. In the absence of truth, we create our own, and I don't know. That's just kind of what we do here.
It fits.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
It fits, man. That's
Yeah.
so cool. That's so cool. And you're right. If you watch The Exorcist, it's not reaching out, punching you in the face, but it sure is a mind fuck.
Absolutely. And The Exorcist is one of those films too, and it's another thing that I try to do. The reason that I have so much respect for that film is if anyone talks about some of the most terrifying films of all time, the scariest movies ever made, the best horror films, The Exorcist is almost always on that list. But you watch the first half of the film, and other than a couple of tidbits here, nothing really scary is happening. It's not until that second half that it just takes you and just fucks you. So am I allowed to curse on here?
Yeah, you
you can.
Okay, excellent. Yeah.
You are good.
Yeah.
I'm
So
pretty
it
sure
just-
he said it too.
It takes you and destroys you in that second half, but the reason that it's so impactful and the reason why you care and you feel it so much is that it spent the first half just setting up these characters and making you care about these people
Yes.
so that when things start to go wrong for them, it actually matters. And that's kind of what I wanted to do with Silhouette. And I knew that we were going to have a slow burn on our hands. I knew that it was going to be a slow build-up, but at the end, I mean, I don't want to say I think, that's really arrogant, but I hope that it was effective in that way.
Are you a fan of slow burn horror?
I am, and I'm really happy that it seems to be making a comeback. You know, like
So, did you like The House of the Devil?
I didn't see that House of the Devil. People ask me
Devil?
about
That's like
that
one
all-
of the most
like
important
the ultimate
slow
slow burn
burns.
horror, right?
We can watch it and come
Ty
out next
West
week.
is like
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
slow burn master.
I would
That
love to
movie,
watch it.
talk about a movie that like fucked me up.
Mitch, you
So good.
have
Go
had,
home and watch it.
or this
Give me
film,
a chance.
this film Silhouette, and she's saying, yeah, definitely watch it.
It has the same kind of effect that Silhouette has, I think.
Oh, awesome.
Kind of slow burn, and everything seems to amount like right at the end. Like
Good.
you're like you have this feeling things are a little off, and then in the end you're like, what the fuck?
Well, then I have to watch this film.
Right,
Clearly.
right, Satan, right?
Oh, you're right.
You're like something's not right. I would have left long before though. I would not have hung out that long in that house. Just saying. Both movies. Just saying. I'd been like, peace out, I'm gone.
So you begin to care about these characters, and then and then it kicks you in the ass, as we move along in the film. So, all right. So it was a great screening, and Texas Theater very welcoming, and it's just so fitting that we had Barak here with you.
Yeah.
And the movie is Silhouette. Absentia Pictures, directed by MITCH McLEOD.
Can I just say I love being here with all this amazing setup that we have going on.
I made the rats eat the baby.
Oh, that's fantastic. This is my kind of area right
I
here.
didn't understand
See
why
that
there was a
Cenobite baby up there?
I did. Yeah, I did. That's one of the first things I noticed when I walked in. I love it.
Pick up this one now.
It's wondrously demented. Oh man, that's just
It's a puppet.
this feels uncomfortable. The
It
hair
is
just
horrifying. I
adds
don't
so
like
much
it.
effect to it.
I make him put that one like the farthest away from me. I don't like
And I
it.
have Satan sitting here next to me. I mean, what a damn interview. This is great. Yeah,
And this is our home, man.
it's wonderful. Yeah,
This is our
Yeah, really, no, this is our home. This goes right back in our home after this.
It does.
nice.
From the beautiful studios of On Air Media, Dallas, Texas, we're bringing you MITCH McLEOD, director of Silhouette. It seemed to me like you're working with a core group of great actors here in this film, and there was much demanded of them, it seemed to me. Can I mention to you also, hey, look, you have some great reviews on IMDb and others. I added one.
Oh,
I did. I wrote a great review.
oh man, I have to go check it out.
I did, but you know what? It said your review is being double checked, and we will post it.
They don't just post Satan stuff. They have to double, triple
I don't
check
know.
it.
I guess a few days later is when it really appears.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but I did add a review
Oh.
to your IMDb.
Beautiful.
And, we saw the film. We liked the film, and I just wanted to add that as feedback.
Are
to the
you-
Well, I
reviews.
do appreciate it.
What's your next project?
Oh man, I'm gonna keep that one mostly close to the vest, but I am actually pretty excited about it because, with Silhouette, there were some religious themes, some kind of anti-religious undertones that were going on in the film, and actually, I think that's one of the things that loud person in the theater had a problem with. Through the grapevine, that's what I've been hearing. So hey,
Oh.
good for us, we did our job. But anyway, unfortunately, I feel like a lot of those themes that were a little more blatant, they were lost in the editing room, unfortunately, because we had to just keep the story going, and there were things that just caused it to drag. So I kind of want to take another shot, and I feel like I didn't go as far as I really wanted to with some of those themes in this film. So without giving much away for the next one, it's going to be another dramatic horror / thriller in the same vein and style of Silhouette. The
With
title,
a touch of Satan.
a touch of Satan. The title is Yankee Rose, which I'm sure Satan is familiar with the significance of Yankee Rose.
Well, do you mean the White Rose Society?
No, I
Or-
mean the last two words in your Bible, the Satanic Bible.
Oh,
Yankee Rose.
gotcha. Okay.
And then, of course, I don't know if it's going to be a tagline or part of the title, but either way, Yankee Rose, a satanic love story.
Yes.
Oh, I like it.
And that actually excites me because I get on Google, get online, research a satanic love story, and nothing really comes up. It hasn't
You
been
got it.
done. So
You do it.
I'm really excited. And even if anybody tries to copy me, I said it here first. So, and I'm going to do it first. But I want it to be much bigger. I want to bring in some names on it in addition to a lot of the people that were featured in Silhouette. So still giving a lot of opportunities to Dallas people while bringing on a couple of names that I think can really push the film forward.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, how did you come up with the last name Harms?
Oh,
Kind of an unusual last name. I figured it was symbolic.
actually, I wish I could say it was. Really, it was not. I wound up, I was in a state. I'd done a film before this called Arc, a love story. And the lead actress in that film, who played the lead character Naomi, her name was Martha Harms. And I was sitting and I was writing the script, and I couldn't really figure out a last name for this family. And as I was sitting there doing it, the name Harms just popped into my head, and I guess I harkened back to her, so I'm not sure if she inspired it or if I came up with it and then realized, the connection. But either way, it kind of served as a placeholder. And then as I was, doing the rewrites on the script and trying to fix it up, I couldn't think of a last name that made more sense.
Sure.
A person who causes, or people that cause so much harm to one another. Maybe it's almost accidentally too symbolic, like too on the nose.
I thought it was like right on the nose. It's like, I've never heard that last name. That's very interesting. I wonder if it's symbolic of the character.
And then
like almost like at like.
I wish I just said yes.
You should have just said yes.
Because I could take it back, but now there's like video documented.
Too
evidence
late.
saying no.
We don't cut this is live. We don't edit it. It's out
yeah.
there. It's gonna go on YouTube.
You mentioned you edit a lot, so
Facebook.
just save all that for the DVD version of Silhouette.
Right.
All that extra footage.
You can't go back and say it on. Be like, yeah, I came up with the last name Harms because it's here.
Right. All right. So
I'm
look,
just kidding.
let's jump back to Satanic Love Story.
All right, let's do it.
Right now is the year, the decade of Satan. Could we say that? And here's why.
I think so.
Satanic Panic is coming out. It is produced by Cinestate Fangoria. Satanic Panic with Rebecca Romaine is coming out hopefully this year. They wrapped it filming in Dallas. And then Barak was talking about seeing the other film coming out in April, it looks like, called Hail Satan.
I haven't heard about that one.
Hail Satan, ? It's a documentary.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think maybe I heard
He saw it at Sundance.
Yeah, I did hear about that one because it did intrigue me, because I agree. I think that we're in the time where, I don't want to say Satan's taking over, and I'm by no means a Satanist, but I think that as far as, Satan in our modern culture, he is becoming, or the idea of it is becoming more acceptable, because yes, you have Satanic Panic, and you have the documentary in Sundance, which got me to realize, hey, this is becoming a thing. But additionally, maybe one of the most successful the most successful horror movie of the year was Hereditary, which had deep satanic undertones. And then, surprisingly enough, because I was not expecting to watch this show and get into it at all, but it actually turned out to be awesome. The Chilling Adventures of
you're
Sabrina.
about to talk about Sabrina.
Yeah, and it's I just
big
kinda
fan
put
to
it
your
on.
right.
I put it on because a friend of mine said, "Hey, this is good," and I said, "Okay, whatever."
It is really
I'll
good.
give this a shot. And I put on the first episode, and I was blown away. The acting, the cinematography especially is just mind-blowingly good. But everything about it. But it's also just has so many satanic undertones. I think that now is actually kind of the time. I think that people are becoming accepting of it. But what I want to do is not make Satan an actual entity or a deity or anything. I want to approach it from the actual teachings of the Satanic Bible, which, Satan's just a concept, but you read the book and it's really just about self-acceptance and, kind of accepting your place in the universe. And that's fascinating, rather than just being this evil thing.
And one more film too, Mitch. Lords of Chaos comes out this month. In a week.
It does.
And that's all about the Norwegian metal scene. And this band here, Mayhem. This is the story of Mayhem in Norway in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
The birth of black metal, arguably the birth of black metal.
Yeah.
And when they were burning down churches.
And I wish I could say I knew more about Mayhem, because I used to be into some black metal when I was younger, and Mayhem was one of those bands I listened to kind of in passing, but I never just really delved into them. But what I do know about them, what I do know about that story, I am extraordinarily stoked to see it, and I'm a huge fan of Rory Culkin. I think the guy is just an amazing, underutilized talent, and I think that he is.
You've got to get him in your next one,
to
man.
this role.
Yeah.
Oh, that would just be something else. I think that he's going to bring something to this role, and I don't know. I've been reading some weak reviews on it actually, but it looks fascinating. It looks, at least the performances will be something to talk about.
All the movies with weak reviews, I actually probably end up loving.
It's really hard to judge some movies like horror films, and especially like more musical, different kind of alternative films based off of reviews, because it's more it's made more for a certain crowd.
Yeah, horror is such a strange genre, because you have the people who are going to seek out like the so bad it's good horror comedies, and they'll be pleased with that. But the people who I think seek out a more slow burn film, a more slow burn drama, horror infused thing like Silhouette or House of the Devil or what have you, I think they're going to be less inclined to go and like those more fun campy, comedy horrors doesn't mean that they're not fantastic in their own right. I enjoy them.
Usually you can read through them and kind of pick out the verbiage to be like, yeah, they didn't like that. That's what I like. So I probably
absolutely.
will enjoy that.
Absolutely.
But when you're directing a film with a lot of cast, are you everyone's enemy some days? Or
how hard is it? Are you like the friendly director that's like, hey guys?
I try to be.
But
but
are you like quiet on set? We got to get to work. Very serious. Down
I
to
think it
business
depends on who you
kind of
ask.
director?
Some people will probably tell you that I'm the biggest asshole they've ever encountered, and others will tell you that I'm just the nicest guy. It really just depends. But on a film like this, it just kind of comes and goes. Filmmaking's supposed to be fun. We love what we do, so let's have some fun while we're doing it. But in a film like this, particularly with April, I mean, all the cast I had to really work with, and I had to really challenge, and I really had to say and do some things to them that I didn't necessarily want to say or do. But April, who played Amanda, in general, I mean, that's just one of those things. Yeah, we were in the trenches together. Lots of crying, lots of screaming.
Shout
lots
out
of
to
tears.
April and
April, mwah. Just such an amazing job.
True.
And she's such a good actress. But the thing that we talked about, the promise that she made to me was that she would give me as much as I gave her. And so that was kind of that unwritten agreement where it's like, okay, we're going to go into this together, and probably the things that we do together we're not necessarily going to enjoy because it's going to be what it takes to get you to that point. But we still love each other. And that was kind of the agreement. The last day that we shot with April, it was literally the last shot that we needed her for in the movie. Then she was done. And it was the scene where they find her in the closet. I can give that away. It's not a spoiler, but she's crying. And she told me, she was screaming at me. And she's just saying, I'm tapped out. I can't do this anymore. And I'm, April, yes, you can. And it's just this big back and forth, like, to where we actually both started yelling at each other. And then, like, I don't even remember all the semantics, all the details, but I remember that by the end of it, when we wrapped her, she'd originally been saying she was tapped out and had no more tears to offer me. But by the time we called cut on the last take and she was done, I think she cried for another 20 minutes afterwards. She was a mess in all the best ways. She's
in the best way.
She's an angel to work with.
She was relieved it was finished. She knew she did a good job. It was tears of joy,
Hey,
maybe. Yeah.
being an actress is not easy work. You have to get in the head of your character. And if
It's
you're
not.
playing a very just
emotional
character being put through a bunch of crap and bullshit, it's hard. I'm sure. I've never played one of those characters, but I feel like it would be very
We have an
difficult.
acting instructor, Teresa Bell, and she'll say, like, one of her biggest things to test how far you went is if you're doing a really dramatic, really unpleasant scene, when the scene is over, she's going to say, how do you feel? And if you say, I feel good, that means that you just didn't do your job. You didn't give as much as you could have, because a good actor, people think that acting is just memorizing lines
It's really
and
not.
faking emotion. But if you're a good actor, I mean, you're feeling what that character is feeling in that moment. You're actually feeling it. There's something fake about it.
You
So,
become that person.
yeah, you do for that time span. And
Tips for new
Some actors take it really seriously and just become the person for the whole time.
for the whole
Heard
filming,
horror stories.
the whole weeks of filming.
hasn't happened to me yet.
No, it's like who was it? Like Jared Leto on Suicide Squad became the Joker for like
Daniel
this-
Day-Lewis is
Daniel
famous for
Day-Lewis,
that. Oh,
yeah.
yes. I heard Jim Carrey was the Grinch, like the entire filming. I think like, some actors
wonderful.
take it very seriously. They
Tips
should.
for young filmmakers. How do you go about fundraising?
You don't.
You just
Tips for young filmmakers: do something else. No. I don't know. No, that's a joke. Filmmaking is amazing, but you have to be passionate about it. If you're not passionate about it, it's torture. I don't know. Fundraising. That's a really weird thing to me, because before this film, I never really had any money, and even when we made this film, I didn't have that much money. We had a $25,000 budget, and that covered everything. That covered pre-production, that covered production, that covered post-production. That's going to go on to, cover even some of the, distribution costs, deliverables, and things like that, to get the quality reports, all those checks that you need to get. So that was for everything. But again, like the feature that I made before that only cost about $2,000 to make. So it was a huge jump up for us. So I don't know. As far as fundraising, if you can really make an awesome pitch, if you can really get people on fire, light them on fire about your idea, crowdfunding, I mean, it really is a good way to go. We did crowdfund this, so we got a little bit, but most of the money came from an investor. But the thing about crowdfunding is that people are afraid, I think, of coming across as annoying or, doing it too much. But you have to shed that. You have to be willing to just be on your social media platforms every single day sharing this. Please give us this money. If you can't give us money, please at least just share this for us. Personal messaging people, emailing people saying, hey, I'm not necessarily asking you to donate. If you can, that would be great. But if you can't, then once again, just please put this out there. And people think that they're going to be annoying, and well, sometimes you have to be. Sometimes you really do. And
you made shorts first.
Well, sort of. No, I didn't. The first thing I did was a feature film called Novella. I mean, technically it is my first feature film. I don't necessarily count it because more is just an experiment. I'd never done this before, and I said, hey, let's do a feature, guys, and for no money. And they said, okay. And
so you made a no budget film.
Absolutely. And then
first go round.
Yeah. And then I didn't do much with that. I got some distribution offers for it. I didn't really want to put it out there because I'm that guy. Rather than looking at, hey, maybe I can make something off this. I didn't really want it to represent me as an artist. And there's a lot of good things about the film. The main actor, Christopher Castorino, Nico, the whole cast, they all just did a great job. But it was kind of the post-production that killed that film. And then I did my second feature film, Arc, which is now available to be seen. And it was only after that I did my first short film.
Is it ARC? ARC.
Yeah.
And that's available now.
It is. Yeah,
All right,
you
cool.
can catch that on Amazon Prime. They also have it available on DVD through Amazon.
ARC.
Arc: A Love Story. It was originally Arc. The distribution company renamed it Arc: A Love Story. But hey, that's
sort of
cool.
like A Satanic Love Story.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe there's an affinity for that in me.
And then after Arc was a short.
Yeah, Birthday Girl. Birthday Girl was a short film that I made, and God, it's crazy how long it's been since I did that. But that was I think the one that really brought me the most attention. People had come out and they had seen Arc, but not a lot of people in this, Dallas film community or whatever you want to call it had really heard of me yet.
Until Birthday Girl?
No, well, Arc, until Arc, really. They hadn't really heard of me. So I still had a good turnout for Arc, but I didn't know these people that well yet. And then after they got to know me a little bit with Arc, then I made Birthday Girl, and that one just, it's a solid short film. It's okay, but people just were really drawn to it. I remember when we first screened it at a local film competition called Rack Focus. Anytime you go to Rack Focus, you can always hear people talking, you can always hear people chatting, laughing, doing whatever. It's like a whole show. They'll watch the films, but there's always some chatting going on, always something happening. But then Birthday Girl came on, and it had been on for about 30 seconds, and everyone just shut up. And for 10 minutes, it was a silent theater except for what was going on the screen. And that was the first time I realized, I made an impact on these people. And
cool.
I remember being so nervous because I was sitting next to my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, and she was just sitting next to me, and the film came on to play, and I just kind of sank down and went into her shoulder because I was so nervous.
You were tense.
It's an art house piece, and you're never going to resonate with everyone with an art house piece. I wasn't sure how they were going to respond, but they enjoyed it, and I think that it was directly responsible for landing me the opportunity with Silhouette.
So it propelled you to have confidence and people knowing and liking you to make and raise money for Silhouette.
Right.
Well, cool. That's an encouraging story.
Yeah, hopefully.
And I think, you started with a no budget. I mean, this is kind of what you've got to do.
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
an independent filmmaker is just do something.
Absolutely.
Show your work.
And it doesn't matter if it's a bad film or a good film. Just get some friends together and go make a movie. Because 9 times out of 10, you're going to make a bad movie. Like when you start out, you're going to make a bad movie. But as long as you can take that bad movie and grow from it, rather than just stay rooted to that spot and continue making bad movies, then you're doing something good. Doesn't take money.
Our friends Little Spark Films, they create all our graphics and everything.
Oh.
So she recently posted a picture of Lloyd Kaufman's book, Make Your Own Damn Movie. And we were talking about Lloyd Kaufman with Barak. He's going to be at the theater in about a week.
Oh, wow.
2 weeks.
The 22nd.
Yeah. Lloyd Kaufman himself. But anyways, that's his message too, is make your own damn movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do it. Do it.
And it's nice to have money. It saves a lot of headache to have money. Once again, Silhouette, not a big budget, but to me, it might as well have been $1 million how I was used to working. And it saved me so much. It was a completely different experience than anything else I'd ever done, because it's like, oh, hey, I have this problem. Oh, hey, I can pay to have this problem fixed. This is really cool.
This dolly or this equipment or whatever, right?
Yeah. I am curious, though, as to what Texas Theater had to say about this film. Because I didn't know any of the employees were watching. So,
well, Barak, we just had him. He was at Sundance.
Yeah.
So he was not there.
No, he was not there.
So I'm not sure what the other staff.
Oh man,
but
here I was.
Go ask him.
I will. I will. Absolutely.
See if anybody watched it.
Hey, February is Women in Horror Month.
Hey.
You have strong women characters in your movie.
I do.
You do.
I
Very
do.
strong.
The
Good.
main character.
Janie Slash, what's going on with Women in Horror Month? And am I throwing...
What do you mean? What's going on with Women in Horror Month?
I don't know. Am I throwing you a curveball?
Yeah, kind of, because I'm kind of
Okay.
like, what?
All
What's
right.
happening? I didn't know we were going to that.
Okay.
You can check it out on there's Women in Horror Month blog. They have listed a 30-day, I think it's 28-day challenge, it's 28 days, February, where you list each day a different woman in horror that inspires you, and you can find that, I believe, on their Facebook page.
And that website too, Women in Horror Month. Yeah.
April Hartman as Amanda Harms in Silhouette. I mean, that's a
Yeah,
pretty good women in horror
That
performance
she
right
is.
there.
Wow. Both of your main female characters did an outstanding job.
Yeah.
Good. They'll be happy to hear that. Jess, April, if you're watching, these guys think you did an outstanding job, and so do I. I think everyone does.
It was perfect to release it right now. It's right on the cusp of, to have that screening, Women in Horror Month, and I'm glad that you put women in some strong roles.
Absolutely. And I think originally it was happenstance. It wasn't planned. The story just kind of came out that way. Yankee Rose, Satanic Love Story. That will be also a more intentionally women-driven front.
Woo!
So, hey, go women.
But,
we love women.
Awesome.
We
yeah,
love women.
Make a
We love
point.
women, Mitch.
Make a
We
point
love
to
women.
watch some movies directed by women, starring women. Raw is a good one. It's about a female cannibal.
That's the one that people were apparently passing out in the theaters.
Yeah, did you
right?
see it?
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm very curious. I know it's on Netflix. It's in my queue, but I get behind.
Yeah, you need to check it out. An American Mary, the Sluska sisters. It's a good one too. And does not have a main female character, but one of my favorite movies is American Psycho. It's actually
gonna bring up
directed
American
and
Psycho if you
written
didn't.
by a woman.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it is.
American Psycho.
American Psycho. I love that movie. It's a fucked up movie.
It's great.
So good. I got in trouble for watching that because it came out when I was like 13. But it was worth it.
It's wonderful. I don't think a man could have directed American Psycho as well as a woman. I think they probably would have gone just a little too far with
See,
it.
that's a great point.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is a great point.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that, it's
I think
it's really
Ziggy has a
exciting.
comment.
Ziggy.
I just wanted to point out that is probably why Bret Easton Ellis hates the movie version of it, because Bret
Does he?
Easton Ellis hates women.
Maybe that's what it is.
Look at all his books. I mean, like
I didn't know he
it's
hated
a lot
that
of
movie.
violence against women in Bret Easton Ellis.
Yeah, he
books.
does. He does not like that movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's a really good movie, though. Do you like
So
the movie,
good.
Ziggy?
I don't think I've only ever seen snippets of it. I get uncomfortable at the business card scene.
The business card scene is very stressful to watch. I just like the part where the
Even
ATM
has a
tells him to
watermark.
feed it a cat. He's like, and plus it also spawned the greatest line ever. I've got to go. I have to return some videotapes.
Oh, yeah.
Or I need to return some videotapes.
Absolutely.
Which I still use in 2019. It might be relevant soon because VHSs are coming back.
Are they?
Blockbuster's not though.
Well,
Or
I don't know.
rental
There's still hope.
companies.
Rest in peace.
Hey, look, guys. Speaking of women, and speaking of horror, and speaking of things coming up involving women, we've got two things. Number one, I'm going to give you this flyer for Deadly Sins, February 16th at
Burlesque show.
It's a
Yes.
burlesque show, yes. He's off the screen right now.
Oh, that's okay.
But there we
Okay.
go. We
There
have
we
the
go.
big one right
There we
there.
are.
Now, what that is a hand squeezing a human heart.
It's burlesque and sideshow.
Deadly Sin. Now, that is produced by Janie Slash to your right. She produces this show.
It's-
It's the longest running burlesque show in Deep Ellum.
Yes, in Deep Ellum.
Awesome.
The third Saturday of every month, and it's only $5.
And it's MC'd
by
by Satan.
Himself.
Himself.
Yeah,
He's over there.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Now, if you are not doing anything on Valentine's Day night, it's a Thursday. there's something else we want to
If
throw out there.
anybody's not doing Valentine's Day.
If anyone is not, look at that.
You
That's
can look.
Jamie's
I get
line.
to do twice the Valentine's Day burlesque that week.
This one is free.
Free, and it's in Addison.
Oh, hey. Awesome.
So bring your lovely spouse if you're not doing anything on February 14th.
And if they're into burlesque, of course, because that'd be weird. Hey, I brought you here.
I don't think she would mind.
It's fun.
Get
and
all
it's
revved up.
free.
Get all revved up. Yeah, it starts at 8. And it's a free burlesque show at Duke's in Addison.
Awesome.
From
fun.
6 to 9.
That sounds like a blast.
And then you can also see me there on Tuesdays hosting bingo. So anyway, it's free every Tuesday starting at 7. I just live at those two
From
bars.
bingo to burlesque.
It's burlesque bingo.
Hey, oh.
Yeah.
There you go.
I do a lot of burlesque.
We have 2 partners, Mitch.
Every
Go ahead.
Tuesday. That's what I'm saying. Every Tuesday, burlesque bingo.
I mentioned Little Spark Films. I want you to be aware of them, man. They make great little commercials.
Okay.
And I think we have a flyer of that configuration box with Amanda Key. I don't know if I sent that to Ziggy, but it is.
It's right
that
there.
one. Yeah, there we go. The Innocence
Amanda
Puzzle.
Key. It's the Innocence Puzzle for the Pyramid Gallery. It's their new commercial.
Oh.
And, you know, buy your girlfriend, your special one, a Innocence Puzzle box. You may get yourself a Cenobite from hell. Who knows? So I did the makeup on the Cenobite. So
She's
it was
also
fun.
a certified makeup artist.
Wow. So many talents in one person.
And our other partner is the Corpse Factory.
Yes.
They
Corpse.
actually make corpses. No, I'm kidding. They have
They
a
might.
great-
I mean, look at their logo.
Look at that toe tag.
Valentine's Day is right around the corner, as we've mentioned. So get your special one, something
What
from
is
Corpse
Corpse
Factory.
Let's talk about Corpse Factory. I'm very
glad you
curious
asked.
about it. Yeah.
Corpse Factory is a company that sells, why can't I think of the word? Accessories, purses, clothes, dolls, such as this one right here.
There's 2 items right there that are.
Is that a
from-
Jason Voorhees doll?
Yes, Friday the 13th
Take a look at that.
from
Oh, man. Take a
Mezco
look at that,
Toys by Collectors for Collectors.
Oh,
And then
man.
we also have the
That is
shine
cool.
off, Living Dead doll, the Dark. He has an eye in his mouth.
I'm a big fan of the
Sees
Voorhees.
through his
You're not-
He's no Michael, but, you know, he's close. He's still pretty cool. Wow, awesome.
Yep. And their website is corpsefactory.com.
And they have free shipping.
We are all
Yeah.
in the horror
They
community
carry,
with you.
yeah,
Hey,
they
thank
carry
you.
brands like Dr. Faust, Creepstill 666, Living Dead Dolls, Mezco Toys, also Alchemy of England. And
Guess
Rock
what, Mitch?
Rebel.
We are shown live on Chop Block TV. So they are one of our platforms and networks. The image is right in the top left over there.
Well,
Chop
thank
Block
you,
TV.
Chop Block TV, for having me out. That's awesome. That's very cool. And yeah, this has been awesome, guys. I really thank you for bringing me out. I'm glad that
thank you for
we're
coming on the show.
getting to tell everyone about this film. I'm very excited about it.
Silhouette.
So hopefully others will be excited as well. And to anyone who's watching who hasn't seen the film yet, who will eventually see it, hopefully, I really hope that you enjoy it.
Is it best just to follow Absentia Pictures, or does the movie itself have its own Facebook page?
We do have a Facebook page for the Silhouette, but that was not created by me. I still do some posting on it from time to time, but no, the best place to get any kind of updates would be the Absentia Pictures page. I kind of lump everything that I'm doing into that one thing so that we
Okay.
can get a more devout following and they can just kind of see where everything's going.
Okay, so best on Facebook and Absentia Pictures.
If I had to sum up Silhouette in one word, I would use the word scary.
Well, good.
And I mean that with respect.
Good word for a horror film.
This is a scary film. Check it out. It's Silhouette. But follow the Absentia Facebook page for more information on where and how to see it, right?
Yeah, and there should be plenty coming. We have several more reviews that we're expecting to come in. And of course, yeah, if you're interested in the film itself, then we will be posting updates as soon as we have them as far as release, platforms upon or platforms where the release will be. Hopefully we'll have something for you. It's awesome. DVDs. Get a DVD. We have lots of horror fans asking for DVDs. So, yeah.
Well, wait a second. On Absentia?
Well, not just on Absentia. We've had several horror publications post about us, and horror fans, being as dedicated and loyal as they are, like, we want a DVD copy of this. Where can we get a DVD copy of this? How can we get a DVD copy of this? Because, you know, they're horror fans. They want to collect. They want to find, seek out this little-known horror film and own it.
You bet.
It's like a badge of honor.
Gotcha.
So thanks, guys. Horror fans, you're awesome. I love you all.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Mitch McLeod, director of Silhouette, right here in our studio, the lovely on-air media location in Dallas, Texas. Janie Slash, thank you as always. We got to get an update on Ghost Babes next week. And you know who's coming on next week? We have a little flyer here. It is Proscriptor from Absu, the dark metal band. He's actually based here in Dallas, but they are an extreme metal band.
Oh, wow,
And
nice.
It's gonna be, that's him right there, Proscriptor McGovern of Absu. Will be sitting right here, Mythological Occult Metal, next week, guys. Awesome. We're here weekly, live, bringing you the extreme of media. Thank you, Mitch.
Thank you,
Jamie
Satan.
Slash.
I
Yes.
appreciate you having me out.
Very glad
Have
to
a
have
good
you.
week. We'll see you
Thank
here
you,
next
Ziggy.
week. Thank you,
Taking
Ziggy.
care of us.
Bye.
Yeah, the Corpsepaint Show. Every Sunday we're here live. We're going to give you 90 minutes of live, great, irreverent shit. And also just talk about Satan and talk about movies and talk about metal and talk about Jenny Slash's weekly dose of horror.
Yeah. Texas Frightmare Weekend. I am here with Dee Wallace. Don't stare at my boobs the whole time.
Sure, I do get comments from occasionally religious fanatics.
I've seen people stop and bow
Who want
down.
to wag their finger at me for a ring tight.
The Corpsepaint Show rules!